Hi learners, and welcome to week 12 of Reconstruction to Present. I am trying Screencastify this week. They asked that we try some new presentation tools, so bear with me as I learn how to do this. So there may be mistakes, some extra long pauses, all that good stuff when you try something new. Okay, so this week you're doing units 3.8 through 3.12, progressive era, social and political issues, American characteristics, and then you're going to do a small writing assignment on the women's suffrage movement. Okay, so we're learning about progression, we're learning about minorities, people getting rights. Okay, so the learning target for the week is I can explain how the role of women changed at the turn of the century. So I want you to look at this picture here. What do you see here? What do you think the women are doing here? And how is this familiar with images you see today on the news? So just kind of take a second and think about that. Okay, so hopefully you answered, a parade. You saw flags. You saw, the women, because there's women there, are marching for something that they believe in. And how is this familiar with images you see today? Hopefully you're thinking, I see parades on TV, people protesting things, people walking for a cause. So here you actually are seeing a women's suffrage parade. This is one of the tactics used by the suffragettes to get the right to vote. Okay, so they would march in a parade expressing their views. You can see they're even doing this with a baby. They're showing that, they take care of the kids, they deserve, the right to vote, they are equal. Okay, so I want you to go into your course. I want you to find the project called Women's Suffrage Movement, and you can go through, read some information on that, and you can also go into the Women's Suffrage from history.com, complete the readings, and then I want you to potentially make a little bit of a timeline on what you read so that you can kind of understand the progression of what happened. And then there's some good videos here, women's suffrage and early feminism, the movement on the 19th Amendment and leaders. You can watch the beginning because it is, unfortunately, from study.com. We only have access to a little bit of it, but it's still very, very good. And then there's a video on women's suffrage on Brain Pop, and the username and password is right there. And there's a cause and effect chart I also included. So you can learn some of the causes of what happened with the women's suffrage as well as some of the effects. Okay, and then there's a Quizlet on some key terms. Okay, for explain, you're going to explain how the political cartoon found below, a very popular political cartoon, is a depiction of many who fought against the women's rights movement. So you can see apparently a father holding babies, the mother leaving for election day, sort of showing what can happen there. Okay, so I would like you to kind of think about that. Evaluate in order to check your understanding of how the role of women changed at the turn of the century with the women's rights movement. You're going to complete a small test quiz there. And your elaborate is there are some essays. In your opinion, how have these changes affected American society? So think about everything you learned from the weekly instructional lesson. How has this changed American society? The structure, the economic health, the workforce. Use some examples. In your opinion, has greater gender equality improved American society? Consider how the changing role of women has changed the identity of American society in America's eyes and the world. So gender equality, improving American society. And I did include the rubric on, it's an informative rubric since you are providing me with information. Please look at that. And then I want you to reflect on this topic. There should be many, many things to reflect about. Have your ideas changed? It should say like what ideas have changed on this subject, okay? It's a pretty powerful subject and a lot to do with even what's happening now in the world, in the United States. Continually fighting for equality, whether it's at work, private life, all sorts of different things. Okay, so just take a minute and think about that. And then here's your class overview again. So any questions or concerns, please reach out. Hopefully this recording is working, and hopefully I can stop it here now. So we'll see how that goes. And if you have any questions, like I said, please reach out to me, and have a wonderful week. Thank you.